Hello everyone, my name is Call and I'm a somatic therapist. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about my work, you can check out my website, which I have posted down below the video. So the subject of this video is, the reason I'm answering this question is that somebody left this question under one of my other videos, and I kind of typed out an answer. I wasn't really satisfied. I'm a terrible typist, so it's much easier for me to answer questions over a video. So hopefully whoever asked this question will get a chance to look at this video. So this video is really about sexual energy as it relates to diet. There's no easy answer for this. Let me go ahead and describe my background, how I eat. And again, when I say this is the way I eat, it doesn't mean you should be eating like I eat. The story here is this is about one's inner authority versus outer authority. An outer authority is me. An outer authority is Dr. Andrew Weil. An outer authority is Deepak Chopra. An outer authority is anyone. Doesn't matter how scientific or how much research they've done, they're still an outer authority and they don't know you as well as you know you, assuming you take the time to know you. So my background, I studied, my master's degree is in applied exercise physiology, so I have some familiarity with the body. Now I studied dietetics at the University of Illinois, Chicago for 2 years. And I also studied under a naturopath for 2 years. So here's the issue. The dietetics program that I studied under, they were very much about, I guess, like sort of scientific consensus and statistical blah, blah, blah. That's fine. If you're looking to give advice generally to the public, saying generally you should eat like this. Now, is it accurate? No. No, absolutely not. It is not accurate. I would never listen to a dietitian who is pushing general information. Now, the naturopath I was studying under, he said something in complete contradiction to what the dietitians used to say. So the dietitians were like, oh, you should be eating tons of carbohydrates, right? The bottom of the pyramid back at least, 14, 15 years ago when I was studying this stuff, the dietitians were like, oh, you should be eating tons of carbohydrates. Again, maybe good for some, not good for others. The naturopath I studied under said, no, you should be eating no carbohydrates. You need to be ketogenic, eat paleo, the Atkins diet, whatever. So who's right? Both and neither are correct. What's correct is, again, how you feel after you eat something. Now, my recommendation is to do this. It's called an elimination diet. Or the other way to look at it is you eat one thing at a time. Eating this one thing at a time is going to give you the opportunity to see how your body responds to certain foods. Let's say I just eat beef. Well, I know personally, if I just eat beef, my body loves it. Loves it. Now, this contradicts a lot of the sort of morality that's and ethics, I guess, that are attached to my particular spiritual path, which is Kundalini Yoga, where they told you shouldn't eat meat and this and this and that and everything else because you take on negative energy. Oh, well, to be honest with you, my body loves it. When I eat red meat, and if I eat red meat a couple times a week, I feel amazing. I have more visions. I have greater experiences. My sexual energy is peaked. It works really well for me. Now, I'm not eating huge quantities of red meat. So, again, part of this dietary recommendation I'm going to make, again, isn't specifically about the foods. It has to do with quantity and timing, a lot of it anyway. So, now on the other hand, if I eat a bunch of carbohydrates, particularly past noon, my body rebels. I feel sluggish, run down, I get brain fog. I don't handle it at all well. And to me, that's a problem. I like having clarity. So again, what you want to do is you want to eat one thing at a time. And most of us will have some sort of feeling generally how we should be eating. So again, beans. Let's say somebody eats a lot of beans and they generally sits well for them. Well, that's great for them, not you necessarily. So again, don't try to model other people's dietary patterns. So now the next thing you want to kind of look at here is after you've kind of done the elimination thing, eating one thing at a time, seeing how your body adjusts to it, there's other ways in which we can kind of like feel out if something is good for you or not. Like I'm sensitive to electromagnetic fields or the energy that something gives off. So one of the things I'll do, this is weird, is at the grocery store, and those of you who are familiar with Reiki or do this with their hands, like I can feel like a bubble of energy between my hands when I kind of move them in and out like this. That's one of the ways I figured out I was sensitive to electromagnetic fields, is I can feel this push sensation between my hands. Now I utilize this at the grocery store because this energy is very much connected to my intuition. So if I'm at the grocery store and I'm deciding between two things, let's say an apple and an orange, I rub my hands together real briefly and people look at me all the time like I'm a kook. That's fine. You have to be a kook. So what I do anyway, is I'll place my left hand over the apple, then the left hand over the orange. Now, one of them, I will feel more energy. I'll feel a tingle, a little bit of a push, some sort of sensation that clearly indicates to me that that's the one my body prefers. Something else you may want to consider is seasonal. Is the food seasonal? This is how I eat anyway. So during my trial and error process, after I got removed all the conditioning from the naturopath and all the conditioning from the dietetics program, what I realized is that I eat seasonal foods, meaning in the wintertime, in the northern hemisphere, if you give me watermelon, it feels terrible. I get bloated, gassy, and it doesn't taste good. Any fruit for me in the wintertime, I won't eat it. Summertime's a different story. I won't go into reasons why that is, but it's true. So again, seasonal food. I'm very much designed, as I perceive it, as a forager. I think that we all have kind of like levels of digestion, from more primitive level, like the hunter, the forager. Those are more kind of primitive level digestive systems. And those require more simple diets, very simple diets. And then you go up the sort of ladder of evolution, you can kind of look at, okay, what else is influencing digestion? Sound levels. Sound levels influence digestion. Some people can't handle a lot of noise. Let's say a noisy restaurant is going to upset their digestion. A more quiet setting is going to help their digestion. Something you want to consider. Activity levels, light levels, diurnal, nocturnal. These are all things that one can consider when we're talking about diet. So again, this is a multifactorial thing. So now there are some truths here that are kind of like generalizations that I will say that definitely I would tell everybody they should do this, which is fasting. Now the approach to fasting is very different. Now, why would you want to fast? Well, everything that I've been talking about, what foods, the timing of eating, how you should eat, etc., all these things are actually very much related to how your body assimilates what you bring in. Your body's ability to digest and break down and to extract the nutrients. Digestion in and of itself is highly inefficient. So in other words, the energy you get from food, it requires some amount of energy to get it out. So, your balance sheet doesn't look good at the end. Like I said, eating is actually not a great way to get energy. So now with fasting, there's two things you need to consider. And you will know yourself whether or not fasting is right for you or what style of fasting you should do. I think there's two different ways of fasting here. So you have the fasting that would be like, okay, I'm not going to eat or just drink water for like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 10 days. I have somebody who only did what's called the master cleanse, which is like lemon juice, cayenne, maple syrup. He did this 120 days. He lost half of his mass, basically. But he wasn't hungry. He was fine. He survived. So in other words, food is probably, of all the list of things that we need air, we need water. But food, Not so much. Air and water, you will die if you don't have those. Food, you'll waste away, but you can actually live for quite a long time with no food. So going back to fasting, 2 styles. First style, again, is that idea of taking a long break off. If you're a person who gets angry when you don't eat, you get anxious, irritable, you know who you are. These are the people I stay away from. If apocalypse happens, I stay far, far, far away from these people because they will stab you for food. Again, you know who you are. So these people, I don't recommend fasting. What I recommend is what I consider more something that's tied to the body's circadian rhythm, meaning the 10 or 12 hour fast. Letting your body rest is so essential, because if you let your body in the digestion rest, what it does is it heals. The greater your healing, the greater the efficiency of everything. Again, digestion is connected to your sexual energy. It's connected to your immune system. It's connected to your cognition. Again, we're not going to break up these energy into different compartments. When we say sexual energy, we're talking about the totality of who you are as a human being and all the energy that animates your existence in your life. So again, if you're the angry type, what you want to do is, I'll give you what I do. I'm not the angry type, by the way. But if you're the angry type, what you want to do is, sun goes down, stop eating. Simple. When you wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast. Simple. So what you've done, if you do this, and again, I know that the sun goes down at different times, so you may want to find a more kind of you may want to find a very specific time to stop eating. Let's say 7 p.m. Done eating at 7 p.m., then you will eat again at 8 a.m. That gives you that sort of 10 to 12 hour time frame in which your body can heal and your digestion can rest. Now, the other style of fasting that I would recommend, again, is that idea of doing the longer term fasting. That gives the body, the ability to push the reset button. And again, the thing here, again, is always thinking about pressure. The more energy you have, the greater the pressure. And what we're talking about is sexual energy pressure. So if that's what you're trying to cultivate, you want to consider either one of these 2 styles of fasting. But again, are you the angry type or are you the calm type? Like, I can go 3-4 days not eat, I'm fine. I've gone 10 days without eating, I'm fine. I start getting leaner and things like that. But generally speaking, there's no crankiness, no irritability. I just feel hungry. It's fine though. So I think that's all I really want to kind of cover with this. So hopefully I answered the question, just keeping in mind that there's no external authority. There's no guru, no teacher who's going to be wiser than your instincts and your intuition. So again, experiment, play with this information, and thank you so much for watching this video.